Hey guys, so Azir bringing you another video. Now welcome to another patch note breakdown. We basically do these every single patch nowadays, especially that obviously every patch is quite full. We've mentioned obviously throughout Riot is still balancing the game heavily, and they made like kind of the promise that they want the balance to kind of feel balanced by the end of spring. So I guess that's around May time that they actually want the game to feel okay, because yeah, the game is still feeling a little bit rough. But just to give the overview of what's happening today, so there we go. It cuts me off a little bit, so I will go here. There we go. Right, so this is the overview. So we have nerfs to Azir, Gragas, Rammus, Rell, Seraphine, Shaco, and Udyr. And the reasoning behind a lot of these things is Rammus is an average play nerf. Again, I'm not great with colours, but I should be able to tell because they do differentiate the colours quite good. There's quite a lot of pro play nerfs. Udyr is being nerfed because of all ratings is being nerfed. Rell is what skilled and elite play. And Rell, by the way, I will say, you'll see a Rell video in the next couple days. Yeah, that champion's nuts. I played it earlier today, and that champion's insane. Buffs, though, to Jax, Karma, Kog'Maw, Master Yi, which I saw so many people go mental about the Master Yi buff, by the way, because there are people that think that champion is, like, really strong. So it's kind of funny to see. Qiyana, Samira, Sejuani, and Trundle, and they're adjusting Pike and Twitch. Now, just a worth mention is, like, Huz, why are they buffing Samira? They just nerfed it out of an existence. Riot has fully revealed sometimes what they do when it comes to balance, that they over nerf champions on purpose. The reason why they do stuff like this sometimes is they on purpose over nerf things to basically calm down the community. The community calms down about the champion, then they'll buff it a little bit again, so people that want to play Samira, for example, can then play it without feeling really bad. They've done this with many champions over the years. Akali is another great example. But it's a strategy that they do. They over-nerf champions on purpose, and they already know when they over-nerf a champion, they already know they're going to buff it the next patch. It's just part of their strategy sometimes. And then also with the new skins, we have B Hazard, which I guess is Malzahar, and we have B More and UB. And then item changes to Muramana, Stridebreaker, Rageblade, Serpent Fang, Mormel Mortius, and Black Cleaver. So let's get into it. It seems to be a pretty hefty patch, like they all are really, the last few. So it definitely is worth keeping up with the patch notes. It is also worth mentioning, I'm recording this on the same day that I'm going to be releasing it. And if you appreciate the effort of recording it, editing it, uploading it, making the thumbnail all in literally the next few hours, please do throw a like on the video. It does help out. And comment after you watch the video, what do you think of the patch? Give me your opinions and all that good stuff. Right, so Azir. So W Sand Soldier damage decrease, so just a nerf to it. Its base damage was 60 to 160, it's now 50 to 150. So it's a 10 base damage nerf, so nothing major, but it's just kind of getting rid of a little bit of lane control, especially from him. So there is that. Gragas, Q is now a flat cost, so that is a nerf actually, yeah. So Gragas top lane is starting to do well. We have seen top lane Gragas, especially when they aren't building full AP. When a Gragas actually builds tanky, it's really strong. And yeah, it used to be 60 mana going up to 80, but it's now 80 at all ranks. So early game Gragas ain't going to be happy about that. Jax, still a really strong champion, and you have to be careful with buffing a champion like Jax, much like a Master Yi or Tryndamere. Basically, auto-attack champions can sometimes get a little bit too like stat heavy, and because they literally just do damage by auto-attacking mainly, they'll either be really strong or useless. And Jax can creep his way to strength. I had a Jax the other day literally take over a game by himself. He was killing things, like, and he lost lane early and then absolutely obliterated everybody. Like, it was insane. And this was pre-buff. So his base damage growth is being increased. So the base damage used to be 3.38 growth. It's now 4.25. So a bit of a buff there. Not insane buff, but it will make Jax feel a bit better. Karma, cooldown decreased. They are buffing. It does kind of feel like they are buffing Karma quite a bit. So yeah, the Q is going down 1 second, so she can do Q more in lane, which obviously Q is her poke ability and also her main damage source of empowering with her ultimate to then use Q. Pretty good ability, and now you can do that more often, so that should help Karma. Kog'Maw, a champion, you can buff Kog'Maw, and he's, again, kind of like in the same category as Yi, Tryndamere, and them. You've got to be careful with Kog'Maw, because Kog'Maw can get out of control really fast. This champion, even without this buff, it does a lot of damage. If you can't CC him, you can't get to him, you've got to be careful of Kog'Maw. So the W bonus damage increase later. So it's a target maximum health ability, so like a Blade the Ruined King type thing. It did 3% early game, and it was 6% in late game. It's now 7%. You might be like, only 1% more. Again, when people have 2,000-3,000 health, that little 1% extra, it does add up. So Kog'Maw could be your hero there. The one thing is, he's never been a great solo queue champion for pure solo queue. He's more of a duo queue champion or team play champion, because obviously very immobile and usually needs a team to protect him. Like, put him with a Lulu in bot lane, have a Kayle in the game, so you're all focused on protecting Kog. But yeah. Master Yi, E base damage increased, so yes, they are buffing Master Yi. Obviously the champion has some strength, let's not say that he's ridiculously weak. It's just the higher rating you go, the champion gets more and more easily countered. Now, all that I was seeing about Master Yi on social media and my comment section was like, why are they buffing Yi? Yi is a problem in uncoordinated play. So, and I will grant his Duskblade build is a bit annoying that he can Q, and if he kills somebody in Q, he's disappeared in his Q, he kills somebody, and then he remains disappeared. That's really annoying. But in average to above average play, Master Yi has never been a big issue. He just isn't. I know some people may find that hard to believe, but with the game understanding going up, it's very easy to beat a Master Yi. Like, it also in jungling, in meta jungle right now, a lot of junglers will just beat him. Like, a Kha'Zix can just walk up to him and go, boof, you're dead. Like, if he doesn't react in time to meditate and stuff. Like, it's Yi. So would you style the base damage of his E, which is obviously giving him a bonus attack, auto attack damage. It was 18, was up to 50. It's now 20, up to 60. So a bit of a buff at maximum rank. It's something, like, it's not going to ever make Master Yi meta. That's not what Master Yi is. This is more for Master Yi players in mid to higher ratings. That's for them. Because obviously they do exist. They are around. So that's for them, I guess. Pike, a champion. So passive grey health storage decreased and now adds lethality and increases when enemies are nearby. Ooh. What are they doing with this? So the grey health storage used to be 20 to 50% of damage taken. It's now 10% of damage taken plus 25% of his lethality increased to 35% of damage taken plus 50% lethality when 2 or more enemy... Oh, wow. That's a nerf to solo lane Pike, is it? I saw a solo Pike earlier today. He'll be in a video in the upcoming couple days. It didn't do anything. But I don't know. I haven't seen many midline Pikes already this season, but I'm guessing they have data about it. My God, that's a huge nerf, though, to solo lane Pike. So again, a big obnoxious thing with Pike is he could take a trade with you and then go into the Unvision and regen quite a lot more. If he's by himself, he's only going to maximum regen, 10% of damage taken plus 25% lethality. What does that mean? Like, of his lethality, 25%, if he's got 100 lethality, then his regen goes up another 25% because of 25% of 100 is 25. I'm guessing that's what it is. So let's be honest, on average, I'd say Pike is going to regen maybe 25-ish%, like 10% base with a bit of lethality. Ooh, boy, that's crazy. So it might be even a buff to the regen when he's actually with people, but a really big nerf when he's not. Wow, that might literally ruin some Pike mid players. Wow, that's crazy. Qiyana, a champion that I think, by the way, is borderline strong, but very niche. You don't really see her. Much more of a high rating pick than anywhere else, because you don't really see her anywhere else. But what are they doing? W damage is going up. Yep, up by base by quite a fair amount, and also giving her 15% more ability power scaling. Obviously, she doesn't build any ability power, but she has base ability power sometimes. So that will be a bit more damage. And then the R is base damage going up as well by a considerable amount, 60 at rank 3. So yeah, some buffs to her. You know, you don't really see her that often, so I think that's fine. Rammus, a champion I've been playing recently, who's, I think, quite strong, and he's getting a nerf straight away. His health growth was 95 per level. He's now getting 80. So a 15 health nerf per level obviously adds up the later into the game, but I think that's fine. I don't think that's going to ruin him. And obviously the average Rammus is more worried about armor than health. But yeah, I think that's fine. Rell, again, ridiculously strong champion, underrated for sure. Armor going down by 3 at base. Okay. And the W is going up 2 seconds of how often she can do it, and up 2 seconds. Honestly, I think this is okay. I think Rell will still be here because Rell's dominance is not like how often she can do her W. It's the level of CC she provides. It's mental. Like the W, the ulti, the E, all in one combo. It's so hard to avoid. Like I would say, and this was like when Rell first came out, I was like, oh, I think Leona might still be better. Rell is literally the better version of Leona right now. Like, she just straight up is. She's tankier than Leona, and she does less damage than Leona, I would say. But who cares about damage on a full tank support? She gets so much more CC. It's mental. So yeah, Rell's fantastic, and I think she'll still be fine. Samira, so obviously Samira's struggling to keep up with the nerfs like last patch. As I mentioned, they would have planned for this. They did a huge nerf last patch. They would have planned to over-nerf it to then buff it a little bit this patch. It's the same what they've done many times with champions, and it's basically when a champion gets enough hate in the community, Riot wants to calm that down, so they over-nerf it so people kind of blank it out of their mind, they forget about it, and then they kind of just bring the champion a little bit back, not to be proper mainstream again, hopefully, but it's to those that like, what happens if you're a Samira one trick or a Samira main since launch? Yes, she was kind of broken. Okay, she got a lot of hate. Let's nerf it a lot. Oh, you feel terrible now. Okay, let's buff it a bit, where it appeases those players who still want to play the champion, but at least the big nerf calmed down the community. That's the idea. It's a weird way to do it, but that's what they've done for ages. So the base damage growth is going up to 3, and the damage ratio of Q is going buffed at small buffs, but like a 10% buff at max rank. I think that's fine. Like, again, I still don't know why this champion has CC extension. Obviously, it's only for knockups now, I believe. They got rid of all CC, but that's why you want to pair her with like an Alistair, I guess, nowadays. But still, yeah, she's still going to be good, but CC obviously is a big counter to her. And for an AD carry that has to be in the middle of team fights, yeah. Sejuani, W second hit damage ratio increased. So they're giving a tank Sejuani more damage, which is always a bit weird. But second hit used to be 5.25 of Sejuani's maximum health. It's now up to 6% of her health. So the more health that she does, the more damage her second W, or the second hit with W, does as well. Not bad. Seraphine, a problematic champion, to say the least. So, what are they doing? Removed. Seraphine notes no longer decay in damage to non-minions. Okay. And then new notes from allies now only deal 25% damage of Seraphine's note damage to all targets, including minions. And the note damage has gone... They're just flattening it out per level instead of being, like, scaling throughout the game. And the ultimate they are nerfing in the early game. I still think one thing they need to get rid of Seraphine is the extension of the ultimate. Doesn't really make sense, like, why Seraphine can be all the way back, like, all the way back, press R, it hits her, some of her allies, it hits an enemy and just keeps extending. That's a bit crazy. Like, that is the strongest thing with this champion easily. Obviously, I'm still not a fan of this champion. Like, to me, she is a support. She fits better in support. Her theme fits better in support. And most people that even play her mid, play her as a support in mid lane. They take Guardian and they're just building support items. So, we'll see. But she'll probably still be around here or there. Shaco, I believe this is for Shaco support nerfs. But yeah, it's all about the Jack-in-the-Box that maybe does a bit too much damage. So the base damage of it is going down. The single target damage as well is going down even more. And then the new pop Jack-in-the-Box now deals additional damage to monsters. So they are basically trying to be like, we're nerfing its base damage, but we're not hurting Shaco jungle. because they want Shaco to be a jungler. They don't want him to be a support, so they just like jungle Shaco is still fine with Jack in the Box. We're just nerfing it for lane Shaco. No support or top lane. Play him in jungle. Interesting. Trundle, Q cooldown decreased. Again, Trundle is never really around unless it's tank meta. Because obviously Trundle is one of the best tank killers in the game. And it's not amazingly tank meta right now. It's more like bruiser meta. And I still don't think Trundle was good enough for bruiser meta. So he'll probably still kind of stay in the shadows for a bit longer. This is interesting to Twitch. Obviously, ability power is what they massively did in preseason. No idea why. So they are nerfing the ability power ratio of his Venom. So it was 3% ability power, it's now 2.5. And the Spray and Pray bonus damage is going up. And the duration of it's going up. Oh, okay. So they're just, you know, AP rat is strong, AD rat feels wrong, recalibrating. So they're helping AD Twitch here, but I think it'll still be strong. Like to me, whenever I've seen ability power Twitch do well, yeah, it's the dot that's dealing damage, but I think it'll still do decent damage even with a 0.5 nerf. It's the E, like, right? Like the E damage. I see like when AP Twitch presses E on things just go poof. So whoa. So I don't know. It might be more the E than anything else. Udyr, obviously the banned champion right now in League. People may say, oh, I thought you don't think Udyr is strong. Fundamentally, I don't think Udyr is strong. Why he's good right now is the items. There are some champions that have done really well and synergize with the new items. There are some champions that don't synergize that well with the items. Udyr to me is an example of a champion that just fits really well with some of these new items, and then he's got decent damage. He's got really high movement speed with like chem tank and stuff, and he can't die. Like, he's that tanky. So that's why he's made a comeback. You can still counter Udyr fundamentally because he's a running champion, but when he doesn't die and just keeps running at you, it's a bit difficult because of the new items. So the health growth is going down considerably, so he'll be a little bit less healthy as the game goes on. And the damage, as I mentioned, he's tanky with also dealing damage. The Phoenix stance also is being nerfed damage-wise, so a more bigger nerfed mid to late game. So I think that's overall good. So yeah, I think he'll still be around though, to be honest, but there we go. Viego, so still quite a strong champion, I'd say. Like, he's around here or there. So fixed several bugs related to Magi and Possession, and passive turret dodging removed. Ooh. Viego no longer dodges turret shots that are in the air when he starts a Possession animation. That's quite big. Because obviously you could dive your enemy mid laner and possess them, and it would reset the tower aggro or get rid of tower aggro or dodge a shot that's about to kill you. It's now not going to do that. So that's actually really interesting. And yeah, there's some bug fixes him for there as well. So that's good. So that's just removing the 1v1 tower diving pressure that Viego's had a little bit more. So those are the champion nerfs. Nothing, again, Kassadin, by the way. Kassa win, as we had a whole thing of when is Kassadin getting nerfed. Worth noting that champion, people have started to realize he is really strong. And everybody, and I've even had people like angry at me in Twitch over the years going, Huz, you just play an AD champion at a Kassadin, stop, blah, blah, blah. Kassadin right now, in statistics and everything, beats every single AD champion in mid apart from one, and that one is Talon, who is also pretty much the least popular AD mid. So Kassadin is, yes, definitely still Kassa win. Most definitely. But Muramana, what are they doing it to? So Muramana heavily overlaps with Essence Reaver, both in stats and use cases. To better demonstrate differences between the two, we're changing Muramana procs to focus more on empowering abilities. Ooh, whereas Essence Reaver empowers auto attacks. Interesting. So this, again, Ezreal would probably be good with this. So, basic attacks and abilities deal 2.5 max mana as bonus damage against chaps. That's what it used to be. It's now only basic attacks deal 1.5% max mana as bonus damage. So that's actually going down for its auto attacks. But melee abilities deal 3.5 max mana as bonus damage, and ranged abilities deal 2.7. Interesting. All abilities also deal 6% total AD as bonus damage against champions. That's going to be really strong for Ezreal. Damn. Oof. Maybe even Severe as well. Yeah. Maybe even Kai'Sa with her Q. That could be quite strong. Stridebreaker. So, what are they doing? Stridebreaker's dash didn't feel as powerful as its slash, so we're balancing both. So the halting slash damage range is going up by 300 was 200. The halting slash dash speed is being slightly increased. The halting slash slow decay was 60% slow over 2 seconds. It's now only 40% over 2 seconds, and the damage is going down. So they're basically giving you more dash. So it's you can dash longer and further, and it's faster. But it does less damage and it doesn't slow as much. So it's just kind of balancing it a bit. That's fine. Whenever I've built Stridebreaker, I have literally felt like the dash was pathetic. Like it literally was like it felt horrible. So that might actually make it feel a bit better to use. Rageblade as well. Certain champions like Senna benefit too much from Rageblade when you consider the fact that its crit strike chance can scale over 100% and it ignores crit damage modifiers. So basically, they're just adding something to it to, like, calm it down a bit. So there you go. Serpent Fang. Serpent Fang is too powerful. Is a powerful but underwhelming and confusing item. We're making it more broadly usable. Imagine Grievous Wounds or Shields, but with extra profits. Well, again, nobody rates Grievous Wounds right now because healing is too much, but maybe that wasn't the best example to give. But dealing damage to an enemy reduces any shields they gain by 50%. For melee champions and 25% for range champions for the next 3 seconds. When you damage an enemy who is unaffected by Shield Reaver, reduces all shields on them by 50 and same thing. I mean, I don't really see people ever build this item, even if there are shield champions in the game, because fundamentally, like what Riot want, and I still don't exactly know why, they really want item diversity. I still don't really know who asked for that. I don't really care about item diversity. Like, yes, you can have these situational items that you might occasionally buy, but I don't need to do a different build every single game, right? I'm completely fine with 90% of my games. If I'm playing, let's say, Elise, I'm fine with 90% of my games. I'm building the same thing every single game of Elise. It doesn't bother me at all. But Riot really has something for, we want to make every item be built in every single game. Or like it's the way that it feels. Who cares? Like, I'd rather the items and everything to be balanced rather than diverse. But that's just me. More about Morpheus is becoming cheaper. That's interesting. And Black Cleaver, a lot of people complained about Black Cleaver this year, so they are making it cheaper. They are giving it more health. Black Cleaver no longer deals bonus physical damage. What they're giving it to, though, is dealing physical damage to a champion grants movement speed per stack on them for 2 seconds. Don't know how many stacks you can have, but there we go. So that will help dueler fighter champions stay on top of people more, I guess. In-game shop stuff, don't really care about that. Bug fixes, again, you should definitely like go, if you're a new Deer player or whatever, you should kind of look at if there's any champions that obviously you play. We get B Hazard and UBM more, and there we go. So that is the patch. Nothing crazy this patch, but obviously constant changes. I still think the game is in a still relatively unhealthy state. Healing is still a problem. Like, just even the games I played today, there was an Aatrox or a Hecarim. There was 2 different examples that the enemy had a Hecarim. He was nearly dead. He walks into his jungle, does, I think, 1 camp, returns to gank the same lane at full health. And I'm like, how the hell did he get to full health straight away? And then Aatrox, the champion, was nearly dead. He does a couple things here or there. Boom, he's back to full health. You're like, what? In combat, he out-healed people's damage. It's like, oh, okay. So I still think that needs to be looked at. I still think Omnivamp was a mistake. Like, again, like a champion like Aatrox, and he's not insane right now, but when he can auto-attack and use an ability, and both of them are giving him healing, on top of the champion's kit that naturally gives him healing too, that's where it just can get a bit too iffy, but yeah. But anyway, that's going to be it. And by the way, just worth mentioning the new skins, because I get it every single time, available March the 4th, so in 2 days. But that's going to be it. If you guys did enjoy, throw a like on it. Let me know what you think down below. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Please do subscribe if you haven't, by the way, and ding the bell if you are subscribed and want to get notifications. But I'll see you guys next time. Peace.